All right, my number 13. I gotta go with the man they call Vader or
Oh, I
Van
had
Vader.
him.
Vader time.
I almost had him on the list. I know, man. I feel bad now. But hey, Casey, good. Go ahead, shoot.
Well, I mean, the guy is a former world champion. I mean, actually, he's quite. He can move around. I mean, shoot, he does the Vader bomb.
Yeah,
I mean, the big splash. I mean, for a big guy, that's. I mean, it's funny some of these big guys can do that. Like, I know the Big Show could actually move a lot better than he lets on because Hogan got in his ear. It's like, you're a giant, brother. You don't need to do all these gymnastic bullshit or like a drop kick. I'm like, it's kind of like trying to dumb it down like the Great Khali almost.
oh
Right.
yeah.
But I think Van Vader got a bad rap in the WWF. I wish he got the WWF title. He was
Well,
that close.
well, think about it, Casey. He was a really good wrestler, but at the same time, when he went to WWF back in '96, he was known as a WCW guy. Everybody
Right.
that comes over from WCW to WWF gets buried in
What's it
general. It doesn't.
minus Ric Flair? He got the push.
Well, I mean,
Well,
come
that's
on, it's
the
Ric
Nature
Flair.
Boy. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Come on now.
I mean, look at it. Look, his Vader's career in WCW. Like, I know, I don't know if you guys would think this is a good one, but it was a part of it. Baywatch too. The episode with Macho
Oh
Man versus,
yeah,
yeah, that was actually at Bash's Beach '95. That's the steel cage match, right? I believe it was steel cage match. Rage in the Cage.
yeah,
No,
Yeah.
was it? Okay, yeah, because
I think it was.
Hogan and
yeah.
Flair had a match in the cage too for the
I'm not
WCW
exactly
title.
sure. I know it. By the time that Baywatch episode showed, he was already in the WWF at that time. Vader
Yeah, that
was.
was just yeah. Vader literally just left WCW when that happened. You know?
But I mean, I think WCW was a little bit more lenient about that than if WWF had that.
Oh yeah,
They'll be like, "Well, we want you to cut this guy out of that show because he's not
yeah.
with us no more."
I don't know if you ever watched any of like the spring breaks from back in the day with MTV, but
Oh,
WCW they actually had the NWO on '96's spring break, and they had Winter Blast where they actually had wrestlers from WCW. They had the WCW ring in the wintertime, and they actually had wrestlers wrestling, and they had live performances going on with the wrestlers. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. Just type in WCW Winter Blast on YouTube. You can see it. It's
yeah.
so
I think
cool.
I remember.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I've seen that.
They had
Pretty
it
sure.
on spring break and in like when I said Winter Blast. Casey, if you want it sometime, man, you should check it out. It's really cool. Like
Okay.
I believe Rob Zombie. No, it wasn't Rob Zombie. Who was it that was performing? I forget. But yeah, it was really cool. Like I believe the ring
Oh
actually was
no.
spinning at the time too.
Was it Limp Biscuit? Maybe.
No, no, Limp Bizkit came out in 1998 spring break or '99 spring break.
Oh
It was
no! Wait, never
fashionably
mind.
out. Yeah,
I'm thinking
fashionably
of an
out.
old King of the Hill episode. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm on a complete different.
Oh no, you're cool, man. No, you're thinking of the Woodstock '99 with the Simpsons. Is that what you're thinking of?
No, I was thinking of the King of the Hill episode where the Hills go to Port Aransas and it ends up being spring break and they have like Limp Bizkit and Kid Rock and Rob Zombie and all them playing in the episode. My
I
brain's
never
all.
seen that episode. I
It's
that
actually
that's
a
new
pretty
to
fun
me.
one. Hank
I love
Hank
King of the Hill
Hank
too.
Hank takes his mom to Port Aransas to get a little glass figurine, and it happens to coincide with spring break weekend. Well, for anybody who doesn't know, Port Aransas, Texas, is an island off of the actual land, so you have to take a there's a bridge you can go to get to it, or you take a ferry, and basically it's a small little island of Port Aransas. It's just overrun with college students, and it's a pretty good episode. But
I
yeah,
haven't checked
no,
that out.
my number 13 is the man of 1,001 holds, Chris Jericho, Mr.
He's
Monday
up
Night
there.
Jericho. I was a huge the the Monday Night Jericho is the best version of Jericho forever. There's no argument about it. I love that.
Jericho-holic.
Hold on. How many holds did you say?
1,001.
No,
Yeah.
it's 1,004.
Was it 4?
Yeah, it was. It was a man of 1,004 holds. Yeah, because he had
Was
the
it 4?
list
I
on
thought it was
Nitro.
1.
Yeah.
I think
Either
that's-
way, that version of Jericho is my favorite because that whole rival. I mean, just him reading the list. That's just
Yeah,
incredible.
that was great. And then coming back from break and he's still reading the list. Yeah, that was great.
Arm bar, arm drag,
Yeah.
arm drag take over, it's just going down. And he would, and what was it? He had Ralphus with him, Ralphus.
Yeah.
And then like when you go,
that was
another reason,
Goldberg actually.
another reason why they had Ralphus for the anybody who's a Joe Bob Briggs fan.
I love
Monster Vision or
guy,
whatever.
Yeah.
If you go watch the episode on Shudder where they showed Bloodsucking Freaks, Chris Jericho was on there, and he tells the story of Ralphus is a character in the movie Bloodsucking Freaks. He's this little midget guy who's this sadistic little weirdo, and when Jericho was feuding with Goldberg, to kind of tease Goldberg, go back and forth, whatever. He wanted his own security guy. So he got one of the dudes from the truck or whatever, put a half shirt on him and wrote Jericho personal security on it.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, my number 13 is Jericho. So it's all good.
I bet Rufus. I hate to say this. I bet he's
Ralphus. Yeah.
We're not thinking about Rufus, the 13th Apostle in Dogma. Come on, Casey.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Ralphus. I'm seeing if I bet Money's probably dead now.
Apparently he's still alive because I was listening to a podcast sometime, maybe a year or so ago.
Really?
Jericho was looking him up and the guy never responded to him. So I don't know.
I'm trying to see if find it. Ask Gert. If I find it, I'll say something. But
right.
Anyways,
AJ, who you got at 12, brother?
I got Booker T, five time WCW champion. Oh,
Hogan, we coming for you, dude.
Oh man, I love that. I actually have that uncensored version of that too. Before Peacock cut it out.
Oh, it's on YouTube. Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah.
No, I have the actual recording with the Nitro and stuff. I actually have that on there. Yeah. When you first told me that, I'm thinking, because you gotta remember, this is like 25 years ago. I have to go back, and I'm like, I was looking because I for the hell of it, I was like, well, I wonder what Nitro that was on. So I typed it in YouTube and it said that. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went back to the unedited version to it. And I was like, no shit. He says the N-word. That's crazy. I totally forget.
Well, it was crazy when Vince said. Well, actually, Vince said it with the A, didn't he? He didn't hit it with the hard
so did
R.
Booker T too. I mean, he said it with an A.
Not black. He gets that. He gets to say that. Yeah. Vince can't. I mean, let's be honest.
What made that so? My favorite part of that is Sherry's face whenever Booker says it, because you see Booker just puts his head down. He knows what he did. Like he's like, oh crap, and Sherry's like trying to cover her mouth because she knows, she's trying not to laugh.
Mean Gene about that when Mean Gene looked at him when he said it, he's just like looks at the screen like, we'll be back.
Now, hang on. Just since you brought up Mean Gene here, Casey, what was the number for the WCW hotline?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, I know he had. Didn't he get like most of the proceeds from that? Because
Yep.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that number was synonymous. I mean, 1-800-909-9900. I mean, I can still hear it in my head today. Yep. It was great. I love that. But
Mean Gene.
See, the thing is, they were stupid to let him have that.
Well,
he was great.
I'm saying that WCW like giving him pretty much most of the proceeds from it. You
It's no
figure,
worse than your boy Hulk Hogan. That every time you would buy
Right.
a WCW
That doesn't
action
work for
figure,
me, brother.
it would ring up as Hulk Hogan. If it was Sting, Luger, Booker T, it would ring up as Hulk Hogan. So he got that money too. You know.
Right. In the words of your idol Hulk Hogan, that doesn't work for me, brother. Come on. You know how many times Hulk Hogan, you know how many times Kevin Nash had to talk about on the podcast? It doesn't work for me, brother. Fucking all the time. I
oh
mean, that's
no!
like Bash at the Beach 2000. Look at what happened. I'm not
Right.
gonna, you know, come on, Hogan. As much as everybody loves Hogan, he was a politic machine.
Oh,
Anything in WCW would have to be run by him. Hell, back when he first signed in '94, literally Bischoff was talking about it. Every proceed, I think it was no, it wasn't '94. It was like he got. I think it was like when the NWO started, like '96. Every like all the money that was in the arenas, that like the revenue, Hogan got like, I believe it was like 20 or 30%, and then the T-shirts on top of it. And he was already
Oh yeah.
making $2 or $3 million a year, when most of these wrestlers aren't even making that in WCW, and they're the workhorses. Hogan. Okay, people say who's the greatest, Hogan or Flair. Me personally, I'm gonna say Flair because I'm a WCW guy. Hogan will always be known as a WWF guy. That's just how it is. Those colors don't run, and you can even agree with that, Tex.
Yeah, I mean Hulk Hogan. The name Hulk Hogan is synonymous with WWF. Now, if you want to talk about Hollywood Hogan,
Well, that's a different
that's
story.
a whole different argument. You know what I mean? But yeah, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. But Casey, number 12.
we gotta go with the NWO's own Buff Bagwell.
Marcus.
There you go. Buff the Stuff. The guy that had his mom shave his bag for him.
Viagra on a pole match. Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
He put his mom on a forklift.
I mean, granted, they couldn't put her on a pole unless there's a seat, but I mean, I guess that was really his mom. I mean,
Yeah, Judy Bagwell. She passed away
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
well, I mean, I'm shocked that she was still alive that long. I mean, that was
I think she passed away. She was 79. She was in her like 40s or 50s
oh,
in
she's
WCW. Yeah, she wasn't that old.
really.
Yeah, Marcus, you got to remember, he was like in his 20s. He was young when he
Yeah.
started in WCW.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he was
I
a
mean,
Georgia boy.
his first gimmick was what, the American Male Tag Team or whatever,
Yep,
right?
yep,
So
with Scotty Riggs.
yeah, yep.
Yep.
That's a good pick. I mean, Buff Bagwell. I think my favorite run of his was when he was with Scott Steiner. There towards the end of WCW. They had their little tag team thing going. That was always fun to watch. I always enjoyed that.
Yep.
My favorite run was when he was in the WWF for like 2 seconds and getting
Six and
fired.
say,
Are you
yeah.
serious? When Austin beat his ass and threw him outside with
yeah.
Kurt Angle? Come on.
He didn't have enough time to pour a cup of coffee, much less drink the
Yeah,
thing.
it was
Yeah.
literally like a flashbang, that Booker T Buff Bagwell match. Jeez, that was horrible.
I
And
love
not to
how
mention it was Spokane, Washington. Who's gonna know WCW in Washington? Let's be real.
Right.
Nobody knows that.
well I mean everyone heard about one of the reasons why he probably got fired. I'm looking it up on the Wikipedia just to get a little bit more clarification, but it says the accusation was also claimed that his mother Judy was calling the
Oh,
WWF.
she did. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Judy had Buff's back all the time, even in WCW. Like
Yeah,
She had his back. She had his front. She had all of him. But
the
hey,
whole
that's
nine.
a whole
It's
different
kind
thing.
of weird, but I mean, I like. Never mind. Go ahead.
He totally looks different now.
I'm not gonna say because you guys are both from the South. I don't want to say anything like that.
You can say whatever you want. It's all good.
Yeah.
But
That's kind of some like weird backwards like hillbilly shit.
oh yeah, see, there's a difference in redneck and white trash.
Oh
Even
yeah, I
redneck
know.
looks down on white trash.
Right,
yeah, I
right.
agree with that.
But my number 12 is the one and only, the guitar slinging JEFF Jeff Jarrett. And I'm talking about the Don't Piss Me Off version because that's the best version of Jeff Jarrett.
I agree.
Whenever he was in that run, I still love me some Jeff Jarrett. Whenever I watched Ric Flair's last match, there was like, I was conflicted because you can't root against Ric Flair, especially in his last match, right? But I love me some Jeff Jarrett. He's got a great podcast once again with Conrad. Shout out, hire me please. I'll do whatever. I can pick up trash on your property or drive you around. I have versatile
live in
skills.
Alabama.
Right. I'm willing to not move there, but we'll figure out an arrangement. So, but yeah, no, I was always a Jarrett fan. Whenever, I know they always said, "Oh, he smashed 1,000 guitars and he never drew a dime."
I was just about to say that.
I like me some Jeff Jarrett. He's he was one that until a couple other names popped up in my head, he was a top tenner for me. So,
Well, you know why they said that? Because that was during the time TNA was, their competition, and
right,
so they had to do everything to take a shot at their competition.
right.
So, I mean,
He's such a good wrestler. He's sleeping on Kurt Angle's wife tonight. That's how good of a wrestler he was, So, yeah, I had to throw a little shot in there. So, what's up? Anyways,
dude, she's hot as fuck.
AJ, who you got for 11 house?
I got Goldberg.
Goldberg, one of the greatest.
Yep.
Why is he at number 11 for you?
Just because of the streak, and to be honest with you, with Kevin Nash, he should have never broke that streak. That's one thing that hurt WCW was that streak. When Kevin Nash broke the streak, and then the finger poke of doom the next month, that's it. That's when the wheels came off and it was dead. It was the Titanic already hit the iceberg. It was going down.
Well, granted, though, they needed to end that streak, though. To me, I didn't think it was
Really.
I think it needed to be ended because, I mean, eventually he's going to run through everybody, and then he's like, so what's
We
next?
still got more new talent coming in. I mean, come on, WCW lasts until 2001. They literally could have kept that gimmick going until they closed the doors. They literally could have.
I think it was okay for him losing, and then he didn't lose cleanly though either. I mean,
A stun gun
yeah, he got hit by a stun gun. So, I mean, I think it was probably
or a cattle prod. Actually, if you want to be honest, it was a cattle prod that Scott Hall brought into the ring and zapped him with it.
yeah. So, I think it was okay. I mean, to me, I thought like it was gonna eventually end, and I was okay with that. I mean, Kevin Nash, to me, it was like okay, he's the Goldberg killer. So.
Well, if you remember, I don't think you really watched Nitro that much, did you, Casey? Back when that happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember when Nash said to Goldberg, "Guess who's next? I'm next."
Yeah, he
That
was the
right there,
booker.
when he said that, and then he said, Goldberg, your streak is going to end at Starrcade. Well, it was in a spoiler. It was a spoiler. Pretty much, what was going to happen. I mean, that's what kind of you don't do that. Not to mention that when Eric Bischoff told Tony Schiavone, even Tony Schiavone said, "You don't do this. They'll put butts in the seats." That the whole Mick Foley winning the title that killed it too. That was
Yeah, I believe,
report.
yeah, that hurt them really bad right there. I was
Well,
trying to find a more recent photo of Buff Bagwell.
Yeah.
I mean, I seen him like all buttoned up, looking, where he kind of like doesn't even look close. I just saw the picture. I was gonna post it, but I just went past it.
Oh, but back to the Goldberg thing. I mean, come on. He sold out the Georgia Dome against Hogan and won the belt. That right there was a great match. That everybody in Atlanta, Georgia popped so hard when Goldberg won the belt. And I think didn't the Georgia Dome wasn't it like 40 or 50,000 people that held in there before
Something like that. Yeah, there was a
Yeah,
good number. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
and
think about it. And that's just a nitro. That's
yeah,
nitro.
I'm
Hell, I
wondering
think no,
which
go ahead.
one. I was wondering which one hold more fans, the Nitro or when WWE went there with WrestleMania.
Well, the Georgia Dome actually closed down probably what was Mercedes Benz because I'm a Dogs fan. I'm a Bulldogs fan. I love them, but I'm trying to remember when Mercedes Benz stadium was open. I want to say it was what like just before the pandemic. It had to be like 2 or 3 years before the pandemic because that's where the SEC championships always held.
I don't know. Oh my god, I found the picture of him. he he. I seen a picture of Buff Bagwell recently. He looked like Mister Rogers because he's wearing like a brown vest kind of thing.
He looks the same though nowadays. Buff, he
Yeah.
still looks the same.
Yeah. The last time I saw Buff, he must have had surgery or something because he was on like a crutch. He wasn't
Oh
walking
shit.
very well.
Here,
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna show you. See if I can bring this up. You guys gotta see this. Oh, come on. Oh, fuck. There we go. Come on. All right. Oh, there we go.
Anyways, Casey, what's your number 11, dude?
Oh, hold on. Here it comes.
That's not Buff.
Yeah.
Not Buff.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
Buff.
him.
Yeah,
That's
that's
No
Buff.
Buff.
way.
Yeah,
No
that's Buff.
way.
No way.
Yeah, that's Buff.
Wow. I'll be dog. That's
Damn.
crazy.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm
The,
Googling that myself.
it took me a little bit of time to find that picture. But number 11, I gotta go with Virgil himself, Mister.
Vincent.
Yeah,
You mean
NWO
Vincent?
Vincent's. Yeah.
Yeah.
He couldn't even be the leader of the B team in WO.
No, that was Marcus Bagwell that was the B team leader.
And then it was Stevie Ray. Then it was like
Yep.
everybody else besides Virgil Vincent. Yeah,
Virgil was the bag carrier.
right.
Well, I mean, I think I remember trying to wonder if it was the Godfather. He was about to go to WCW, and I think he had a certain price he wanted from WCW, and Vincent undercut him. I think he said, "I'll do it for half. You're gonna pay him if you take me." And they took that offer. That's the rumor I heard.
Hmm. Well,
But
I know
like,
I know Ted DiBiase when he got signed to WCW. Vincent came in right after him. So, and I know Vincent, he didn't even make that. I don't think he made that much in WCW. I think it was like, I want to say like maybe 400,000. He didn't do anything. He was just like a valet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about Ted DiBiase. He didn't do. I don't
Well,
even
he
think.
didn't do anything either.
Okay.
He managed the Steiner brothers, and then he managed the Outsiders. That was about it.
Yeah, and then he pretty much left and pretty much started retired, and he went
Yeah.
to work on church pretty much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah.
Ted DiBiase in a
After
while.
Ted DiBiase got out of wrestling, that's whenever he started taking church money illegally or some nonsense.
Yeah, haven't you noticed that like lately, like in wrestling, like these wrestlers that are like back in the day, they're all like drugged out and all like whacked out of their mind, and then all of a sudden, like
They find God.
they find God. Yeah, Shawn Michaels, he was a big drug addict, and then he's like, "Oh, I found God in 2002,"
Well,
and then
much.
there's
I
nothing
mean,
bad on that. Nothing.
yeah. I mean,
Whatever.
I'm a Christian believing man, but I
Same
mean,
here.
it seems like a lot of people they find God to get themselves either A, out of trouble, or B, once they're already in trouble
Right.
and they're off of the stuff, that becomes their new habit.
Well, Stinger did it too. I mean,
Yeah.
he did it.
Yeah, but it seemed different with Sting though. I mean,
Right.
He never really got in trouble. Except
No, he
well,
was actually one of those straight and narrow guys.
his trouble was more like, oh, I drank and then I cheated on my wife. He
Yeah.
didn't have the drugs and whatever.
That's not actually true about Sting. Him cheating on his wife, he never did that.
I thought he did.
Nope.
That's
Stinger,
what I
he's been
heard
married
too.
to the same girl since his whole wrestling career. He dated, well, yeah, back in when he first
Oh,
started.
okay. I was
Yeah,
wrong about that then.
yeah. No, Stinger, he's very conservative, like that. Like he's that family values dude. Yeah. I watched a documentary about Sting, and he is that straight and narrow, doesn't cheat on nobody. Yeah, he's like that. He's a really nice dude, actually. From what I hear, he is. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, my number 11 and the final pick of this episode is going to be the bad guy. We're going with Scott Hall, baby.
Oh man, you
And
had me there.
yeah, I obviously a Scott Hall fan. Him coming over and attacking the set. Coming at Shivani and Bobby the Brain and Bischoff and all of that. That was one of the most iconic moments of all time. And it him being at 11, he could very easily be.
They should have been top 10.
He could have been top 5 in this list, but the rest of this people that are in this list for me, like, and I'm sure this is like this with y'all. Somebody might be at 6 or 7, but they could have been 15, and 15 could have been 2.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, as I've sat here, I've rewrote this list like 3 times. Like,
Wow.
So, like, I mean, this list is, the names will stay the same, but order can change. You know what I mean? Except for a few. There's a few that are pretty hard on there. But Scott Hall, he should have been. You were talking about Roddy Piper a minute ago of guys who should have been world champion.
Yeah.
He's the top guy on that list of should have been world champion.
Yo.
But he was always over, and he didn't really need a belt. You know what I mean?
Just being in his presence, that machismo, man. I mean, come on.
Right. I mean,
saying you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. Come
why
on.
I'm here, yeah. I mean it. And there's very few guys who can go shirtless with a jean vest on and pull it off. But he was one of them. So
yeah, that most iconic says, "You want to go to war? You want a war? You're gonna get one." That is iconic.
And out of all of the action figures they've made out of wrestlers, how have they never made a debut Scott Hall wearing that
They
jean? You know what I mean?
they see in WCW, you know those action figures, the ones I showed you guys.
Yeah.
They made they made a Scott Hall. I don't have that one, but they
No. I'm talking about in that wearing that jeans look where like
they
debut
did
moment. You know? Oh, did
they
they?
did do
Oh,
that.
okay. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
WWE Elites. They have that figure. I don't know if you ever watched the YouTuber, but Grimm, the Grimm Experience on YouTube.
Oh
You know
yeah,
Grimm. Yeah,
yeah.
he had it. He showed it on his YouTube channel.
Oh, bet.
Yeah,
I've never
yeah,
seen that one before. I'll have to look that one up online
yeah,
because that's one I'd like to have. But
yeah.
yeah, no, Scott Hall, he could have been top 10, very easily could be for a few of these others, but you know, God bless him. He's a legend.
Are you
Oh
talking
yeah.
about Scott Hall, the stud diamond version, or Scott Hall, the?
In case we're talking about the outsider, Scott Hall.
Yeah, outsider Scott Hall,
I'm just making.
WCW Invasion. Yeah,
I'm just making sure. I
But
mean,
the one thing is about Scott Hall that by him sounding like Razor Ramon, that actually got WCW in a world of shit for the Razor Ramon gimmick voice
yeah,
because saying that was copyright, and I guess with WCW doing that, WWF got wind of it. The lawsuit happened, and they said because of Scott Hall and Kevin Nash acting like Diesel and Razor, when if WCW ever would have went out of business, which they did, Vince actually had first dibs on getting buying WCW before Eric Bischoff did. That's
right.
what's crazy. Yeah. So they kind of actually people will say, "Oh, the NWO was so great." Yeah, it was, but at the same time, it was demise that actually killed WCW too. It's because you put all your eggs in one basket with the NWO, and when that got tired some and it ran its course, WCW didn't have anything to do. I mean, come on, it shows. Tex, even me and you, we're big WCW guys. You know, right after it got stale, it became a shitty product. Am I
Oh, it
wrong?
did. Oh yeah, no.
Exactly.
Once, honestly, Starcade 97, if you really want to boil it down, when things started to go downhill, that was when, because it was a screwball finish that
Yeah, screw job. Yep.
they should have put Sting clean over, but they
Yep.
couldn't do it, politicking and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the beginning of the end. I mean, even if you
Yep.
go back and listen to people like Tony Schiavone,
Yep.
he calls that the coffin on roller skates moment.
Yeah.
When it was doomed to fail, unfortunately, but it
Oh,
is
of
what it is.
course.
But yeah,
that,
no, it's this has been a fun part one of this.
yes.
Oh, I
Um,
enjoyed it. First time ever.
uh, Part two will be on the Derailed Patreon for only $1 a month from the Derailed News and Podcast Network. You can check it out. But before we go any further, I want one honorable mention from both of you. Can be good or bad, but what was an honorable mention from both of you guys?
All
Eric
right.
Bischoff.
Nice.
I would say mine would be Scott Hall.
Okay. So Scott Hall doesn't make your list. He gets an
Nope.
honorable mention.
Yeah, he gets
Ooh.
an. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. See, you might lose some YouTube subscribers on that one, but I'll let you take that hit. My honorable mention is the one and only the molester himself, the Yeti, for coming down to the ring,
Yeah.
molesting Hulk Hogan in front of thousands. Who knows how many was there? But that moment, it was between Yeti, Shockmaster, and the Zodiac, and I only wanted to pick one. And the Yeti, you have to say it with like three A's at the end because that's
The
how she
Yeti.
right. But you know, I'm a big Yeti fan. So, but
I wonder
yeah,
if they made that figure yet.
You could probably do it easy. Just go buy like a Big Show and wrap it in toilet paper, and you've got one.
There
So
you
No,
go.
I wonder if they made it yet. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, heck no.
probably not. I don't know. But well, I guess I'll thank everybody for tuning in and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, you should, because only cool people get to subscribe to Casey is Raw YouTube channel. But that being said, AJ, where can they find you online, brother? Plug your shit.
I really don't have any social media. I mean, if you guys want to get in touch with me, hit up Tex or Casey because they're the ones I really talk to on there. Like they'll send you my link. I'm not a big fan of social media, to be honest with you. Like I said, this is my very first podcast ever.
Cool.
Casey was the very first person ever to get this. Should be an honor for him.
You heard it here first. Casey took AJ's virginity, so everybody spread the word.
Wow, that's messed up. That's messed up.
Well, you know, it's all in good fun.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
pretty
of course.
sure Drew took mine, so I mean, yeah, Drew
Well,
took
I mean,
mine.
I guess if that happened, I guess Casey would have to be the bitch. I guess 'cause I'm not being no bitch.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at @SlasherVision. You know, real simple, and I'll pop up on other people's YouTube shit because it's just more fun for me that way. And Casey is Raw. Where can they find you, brother?
Casey is Raw on Twitter, and if you're watching this, you apparently found my channel. But yeah, both my Twitter and YouTube names the same. Casey is Raw. It could be together or with space. It could be one.
Just keep tapping it in until you find that face. That's all you got to do. You'll figure it out.
Actually, on my YouTube channel, I'm wearing Bane's mask. So that's.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, look for Bane with Casey is Raw next to it, and you'll find this guy. But yeah, this has been fun, and like I said, part 2 will be over on Derailed Patreon. So go get your dollar out and go send it to Drew. So
Yes.
Well, appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Adios.
Have a good night, everybody.